welcome to this life lesson episode of the Confidence Through Health podcast. Topic today has to do with our potential, but it's regarding the thought sometimes that we won't move towards our potential until we get acceptance or agreement from multiple people. And a lot of times it really only takes one person, ourself, but then if one other person gives us the okay, we should move. Especially if it's a trusted person, because that person is there to help you open the door that you're going to walk through. If you're looking at the door and thinking that's where I want to go, but you can't get it open and it's not opening, maybe it's not the right place. But if someone else comes along and says, "Yeah, I think that I can help you," then that's the only person we need, right? It doesn't take six people to open a door; it takes one. And this this is played out for me so many times in so many different recruiting scenarios with athletes that I work with, where they want to go to a specific school or schools, and they start talking to them, they talk to the coaches, they talk to and maybe it's not going smoothly, or they're not getting the same kind of vibe, and so they're not sure and they're wondering why, and they want to go to this school or two or three schools that they're looking at, and they're just not getting the right attention or response from the coaching staff. And then I've emailed dozens and dozens and dozens of schools on athletes' behalf saying, "Hey, you should check out this kid. Here's their abilities and their events and their times and different things." And sometimes I get responses and sometimes it's just lost. There's no response. It's like no even knowing that they even received the email. Who knows? But then all it takes is that one person, that one coach that says, "Oh, I'll take you. I'll bring you onto my team. I'll bring you onto my school. Like let's make this happen." That's all that athlete needs to take the step to the next level, is that one coach. You don't need 18 different schools. Some kids do have 18 different schools that want them and they get to choose from them, right? But if you want to make that jump from high school to college and compete at that level, all you need is one school to say, "Come on, come here and we'll make it happen." And a lot of times we can take that same scenario, put it to life though, whether it's career, whether it's anything. And we're looking for that. I remember years and years and years ago going car shopping with some friends, and they were looking for a specific car and they couldn't find it. And then they had one dealer that said, "Well, we've got everything you want in this red car, but you don't want a red car, so the white car doesn't have all the same features, but we can put you in the white car. But if you want all those features, get the red one." And they were like, "We don't want a red one." And turns out went somewhere else and bought the same exact car in red somewhere else because the person opened the door in a better format, better way. So it's when we put our goals together, when we think that our potential is pushing us in a certain direction and we want to go reach that, we don't need everybody we know to give us a blessing, to give us a stamp of approval. We need someone that can help us. And if one person is willing to do that, that's all it takes. All it takes is one person to open the door to help you get to the next level. And the thing that we can't forget, and I've said this multiple times as well on different episodes, once we go through the door, we have to remember to go back and open it for somebody else. Because when we do that, the dividends on that simple task, that simple, process of helping someone else, the dividends are massive for what it does for us in the future. And so don't sit there and wait until you get 5 people or 10 people or everybody in your social group to agree that this is the right move for you. If you have one person who is the who is respected enough, right? Like they understand what's going on, you trust their opinion, they usually give solid advice. If you have one person, go for it. Does that mean it's going to work every time? No. I've had failures in my life that I thought were going to be great because I had one person that said, "This is a great move for you. And let me help you open the door." And I've had that fail in some instances, even one instance to a tune of a net worth change of negative $200,000 over a 2 year period. Right? That's a massive change and one that we're as a family we're still digging out of that hole. But sometimes those things are really, really positive though. And more times than not, it's going to be something that's really positive and really moving you forward. But you don't have to wait for everybody you know to be in agreement on it because guess what? Not everybody's going to agree that that's the right move for you. Because there are definitely people that don't believe that you should do certain things because they didn't do those certain things or make those certain steps in their life to take those big leaps to reach their potential. And so they're going to be a negative Nancy and say it's not possible or it's too difficult or you're not trained enough. Because guess what? You're never going to be trained enough or you don't have enough knowledge. And guess what? There's always more to learn. And if you're waiting until you know everything about something to make a move, you're never going to move. Right? So sometimes you just have to move. And I was playing chess with somebody this past weekend, and I knew I was in a position where I was like, okay, I'm taking too long to decide what to do. And I know if I move this, that's going to happen. If I move that, that's going to happen. If I move this, that's going to happen. I don't know what he's going to do if I do this. It's probably going to be bad, but it might surprise him enough that it could go the other direction. I did that move, and in 4 moves, I think it was 4 or 5 moves later, he had checkmate. And I was like, well, I mean, the other ones were guaranteed checkmate. That one was the only one where I was like, I might surprise him. And I did for a second because he had to think. He took longer, but then he did it anyway, right? And so we have to make a decision and we have to move. We can't just be stuck. And if we have one person that's willing to help us open the door to the next room that we need to pass into to gain more knowledge, to gain more experience, to be able to continue on our journey towards reaching our potential, then all we need is that one person to open the door. If you're if you're a high schooler, whether it's an athlete or just a regular student who's not going after an athletic thing or just looking to move on to college, all you need is that one school to accept you. You're going to apply to 6, 8, maybe more schools hoping to get in. And you might get 7 rejection letters. But if you get one that says you're accepted, that's all it takes. That's all it takes. And it's actually easier when you only get one, because then you don't have 4 different doors that you've got to decide which one's the right one. When God says, I'm only opening one door, and it's because one person's coming into your life to open that door, it makes it a heck of a lot easier. Because then you don't have to worry about what if I make the wrong decision on which door to go through because there's only one. So it's often much easier if you just have one. But when the door opens because somebody has opened it for you, you need to go through it. You need to go through it. Because on the other side of that threshold of that door is where you're going to gain the knowledge to get to the next step and get closer to your potential. So that's the life lesson for this episode of the Confidence Through Health podcast. If this has struck a chord with you, I'd love for you to subscribe, give me a review, share it with some friends. and hopefully we will catch you on another episode.